Welcome back to Dublin, Ireland. I am the Wandering Englishman. Here you find me once again, Merrion Square. Now you might remember from my video where I covered the Irish migrant crisis. Ireland gives you maybe accommodation. Will you bring your family here? Or?
Yes, because I have all the right to bring them here. And
we came from sea and we go to some country.
How long were you in London for?
Just a few months.
A few months. Were you in a similar situation in London? Were you on the streets? Seems like you're part of the process. It'd be nice to talk to someone on your side as well. Yes, it is recording. Yes. This is recording. I mean, I've got nothing to hide. You've got nothing to hide. Merrion Square was our starting point, the place on the corner of the old Oscar Wilde's home. Well, today I'm going to head back towards the IPO because I believe it's all being now cordoned off, and I believe that the situation is now back in control of the Irish government. Simple reason because all of those taxis that you remember from my previous video have been ferrying all of these migrants that are coming over in their hundreds every single day all across the country. So the problem has effectively been shifted from Dublin to the rest of the country. I just want to see if I find any migrants, see what their stories are, what their reasons are for being here, to really understand if these migrants are expecting the Irish to pay for their accommodation, their 3 meals a day, and everything else that goes on top of that. You might remember the hotel that was effectively opposite the IPO building, the Leinster, obviously had the problem of all the migrants that were living along the streets. Well, it wasn't looking too good for the Irish government in the fact that it became a tent city. So what they've done is they've effectively moved them on. They've moved them on elsewhere, but this is how they're stopping them from being around here. This is now all fenced off. You might remember all of this being under the tents all along here. The first set of migrants we interviewed were just here. Now, as far as the eye can see, you can't camp here. They don't want you camping here. As soon as you start camping here, they will move you on. Even though the NGOs are giving out free tents, they are living somewhere else. Migration into Ireland has become a big topic in the last year. If you go back 5-6 years ago, it really wasn't on the tongue of the average Irish person. They weren't really thinking about it. The number of Irish people in Ireland is just over 4.5 million native Irish citizens. In the last 4 years, Ireland has added almost 600,000 people to its population. This is a huge percentage, changing the demographics of Ireland beyond recognition. How are you doing? I keep trying to email for a... How are you doing?
Yeah,
I keep trying to email for an interview, but no one seems to be responding. Is it possible to speak to someone in the IPO in regards to...
Sure, please.
How many people are you getting visiting a day?
I'm just security. I can't give
Do you count
any
people?
information.
Wait, you're Polish or?
No, Croatian. Croatian.
Croatian. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. Zagreb?
Near.
Near Zagreb.
Near Zagreb.
It's a beautiful country.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it very much.
Thanks. Where are you from?
London. London, yeah. But
English.
I'm an Englishman, yeah. Just sort of here reporting on the story, yeah. Just a journalist.
Sorry, look, I'm just security. I can't give any details.
Yeah, so look, last time I was here, it was a lot. There were tents here, there were tents here. When did you clear it all?
I'm here 3 days.
3 days?
It's my four day today.
Ah, okay.
So I just saw from the bus that is a lot of tents. So I don't know what's happened exactly with people, how they move out or no idea.
But they moved the tents on because obviously, do you know where the tents went to?
No?
No? Everyone's now been housed?
I didn't work in this time.
Yeah.
So not interesting.
Your colleagues,
Yeah.
the colleagues haven't told you?
But no details. Just that tents was here. Yeah.
Tents were here and now they're no longer here.
So I don't know how long and.
Okay. How many people were here yesterday?
Can let you know.
Like 100, 200, more?
Can let you know.
You can't.
Yeah, this details.
Secrets?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Few seconds, guys. Just let me stay here.
Hi. How are you doing?
How are you?
Not too well. You're the manager at the IPO.
Well, I'm one of the.
Fantastic. I've been sending an email over last time I was here was when all the tents were here.
Okay.
I'm an independent journalist,
Yeah.
and we've just some questions on how your operations are going and what changes have been happening. And is that possible to have a conversation?
Not with me personally. You'd have to speak. Who did you email? Who did you send it into?
The main inbox, and no one's responded.
nobody's
back.
responded
No one's
to you?
responded back. I mean, every time there's a story's been written on it, people, there's a lot of interest in this story, and it's been going on since effectively February, March time.
I can ask if somebody will speak to you.
Well-
You may have to go through the press office in St. Stephen's Green.
Right.
So you may, but I can ask here if somebody will come down and speak to you. If you give me a few minutes, I'll check.
I mean, you seem like a good person. What's your name?
Kathy.
Kathy.
Yeah.
But
I'm not here. I'm not allowed to answer questions. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
So,
I
but I
mean-
can definitely I can ask for somebody for you. Do you want to give me a second? And
Yeah,
I'll check?
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
perfect.
Thank
Give
you
me a
very
second.
much, Kathy. Thank you.
Can you give me your name and number?
Sure.
And it will be early next week when somebody contacts you. Is that okay? I've spoken to one of the managers. He's just not on site today.
Sure,
so he's not,
absolutely.
But he's happy
Let's
to
do
give you a
that.
call next week, so he is.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay, if you leave your name and number, he's happy to give you a call.
Okay.
All right.
There we go. Thank you.
Perfect. Alexander.
And where do they go to?
They were some of them were. I don't know. That's IPAS would be the only people with that information. I don't know where people are moved to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be an IPAS matter.
Okay.
Have you tried contacting somebody from IPAS?
Yeah, they're pretty unhelpful. I mean, it's a very secretive operation, hence the reason we decided to come down. And then, when we came here for questions last time, it was very, it wasn't happening.
Yeah. All I can say is I can pass your number on to him, and he'll give you a call early next week. Is that okay?
Yeah. How many people come through here in a day?
I wouldn't have the numbers. Again,
If
that
you-
man will answer it. He will speak to
But
you.
you're here every day, though, aren't you, Kathy?
Not every day, no.
But if you was just to say today, for example, how many people?
I'm not even down in this area today,
No.
so I don't know how many.
Are you dealing with
numbers.
hundreds, or are you dealing?
I'm not in the waiting room today, so I honestly can't tell you. I don't.
Like, last time you were in the waiting room, how many were you dealing with?
I don't know. I don't check numbers every day. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what the backgrounds are on most people?
No, I don't.
Do you? Where are you generally sending them? I notice.
Again, I don't send people anywhere. That's an IPAS issue, so I don't know where. That's an IPAS thing.
Are people-
You'd have to request that information from IPAS where they're accommodating people. I don't know.
Are people still coming in to select their accommodation in here? They get to choose from the brochure, and they get to pick their.
We don't accommodate people from this office.
You don't accommodate.
That's an IPAS. This is the IPO. We don't accommodate people from here.
Okay, because last time I was here, people were going in, trying to choose their accommodation.
I've never seen that. It's definitely not here, so it's not the IPO. Don't deal with accommodation at all.
Okay, so maybe
Alright.
maybe they misunderstood us.
They might have.
So they're helping you, yes? These guys are helping you. Helping you. They're helping
No,
you.
we want to browse accommodation.
Okay, browsing accommodation. Okay.
But as I said, he will call you early next week, okay?
Okay.
Perfect.
Who's he?
One of the managers here,
So I get a name so I can
Ken.
Ken
Kavanagh, he'll call you next week.
Ken
okay?
Kavanagh.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kathy. Thank you. Obviously, the bad press they received from the numerous videos of the people coming down here wasn't favourable to the Irish government. If you remember, they were cleared out just before St Paddy's Day, then they came back, and they came back here en masse. It was 1 month after my original video that the mainstream media started covering this story. When they did, the Irish people were up in arms. They thought, well, how is this possible? I'm paying all these taxes, and it seems all these people are queuing up for free accommodation. Now, many of those people, is my guess, they've now been taken away, and they've been given accommodation. We know for a fact, having seen from all over the country, that people are being placed in places all around the country. Some in the countryside, some in towns, some in cities. Very different atmosphere here. If you remember from my last video where I was here, fairly intimidating. There was a lot of tents, but I was able to have at least conversations with people. Most people told me at the time that they'd come over from Jordan. They were claiming they were Palestinians, Palestinian Jordanians with Jordanian passports. They'd flown from Jordan, flown into London. Some of them had spent a couple of days, some of them even spent a couple of months in the United Kingdom, before then taking a flight to Belfast, before then travelling down from Belfast into Dublin, where they would then come to the IPO office and then basically claim. Once they could claim, they then got 3 meals a day. They were then in a queue for their accommodation to be sorted out. Now, some people are being housed in hotels, some people are being housed in hostels, some people are actually getting apartments and houses. There has been a massive influx, and given the fact that there's so many Irish homeless people, it is surprising that the Irish government continues to help without exception all these people. It doesn't matter how much tax they paid, they're still being helped. After visiting the IPO building, I decided I thought it would be wise to go down towards the Grand Canal. Now this is where the migrants had been once they got cleared away from the IPO building. However, they had then also been cleared from this place because they were causing a serious mess along the Grand Canal. There were reports that the migrants were up towards the Hilton Hotel. This part of the canal is near the IPO building, so now all the barriers are up to basically protect the canal from more migrants setting up camp. After I filmed my video exposing how the migrants were basically camping around the IPO and how basically migrants were coming in by the hundreds into Ireland and then being shipped out elsewhere, it obviously embarrassed the Irish government to the extent where they closed the streets around the IPO. The tents were moved on, and then what then happened was all the tents then started shifting towards the Grand Canal. The Grand Canal is just to the east of the IPO, probably 2 blocks to the east. All along here for a couple of months there were tents, and it became very intimidating for anyone walking here at late at night. You wouldn't really want to be walking here alone as a woman late at night. So they've done, I guess, the proper thing to do, but what a mess now. Although it's better than looking at tents with urine and stench and shit, they now have everything blocked off. So there are no migrants here. When people were exposing this, and they were exposing this, people were being told not to film, people were being threatened. I was half expecting to see some today, but they've all been moved on, they've been put into accommodation, but there's still a steady stream of people coming in and out of the IPO office seeking that help that they've travelled so far to get. The only tents that it's now seen by the Grand Canal are those of Irish citizens. The tent over here is from an Irish citizen. He didn't want to be on camera, and the tent down here is 2 Irish citizens. There's no reason to put them on camera. For some reason, if you're an Irish citizen born in Ireland, you're not getting the same help as those not from here. Those not from here have been moved on to outside Dublin. Almost directly opposite the IPO building is O'Connor's. O'Connor's is an Irish pub, very typical Irish pub. I walked in there earlier just to have a quick refreshing pint, just to see how they're reacting to the fact that they no longer have Tent City outside their premises. A couple of the punters who didn't want to be on camera suggested that they were happy that the Tent City had now gone, but they didn't know where it had gone to. They also didn't know who was paying for all these freebies for the new arrivals. In my next video, I will be talking to the migrants and also trying, once again, to get an interview with the IPO centre, who seem to not want to give me a phone call. Well, I await a call from the IPO. I'm pretty sure it won't come. I've emailed them before. They have not responded, but according to Kathy, someone's going to email me or call me. I doubt that will happen. But in the meantime, I was actually kind of surprised by the fact that we haven't seen what we saw last time. And clearly the problem has been brushed away because it's peak summer now here in Dublin, despite the slightly overcast weather, which basically means peak tourist season. So the last thing they want to have are tourists tripping over tents. This is just around the corner from Merrion Square. There's a very plush hotel here, very plush bar just here. Super plush. They don't want those people being exposed to it, so they have been moved on promptly, and the barrier suggests they can't stay here, so when someone tries to put a tent down, they can quickly get moved on elsewhere. Anyway, if you appreciated this content, you'd like to see more of it, click that like button, click that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Until next time, keep progressing. In the next video,
What do you mean?
you see these barriers?
Yeah.
Are they impacting your business?
Well, it's just really bad to us as well, because yeah, it used to be more busy here
Yeah.
weeks ago, but since they put that shit, like, it just got quieter.
Where are you from?
I'm from South Africa.
South Africa. How long have you been here?
2 days.
2 days, and you're getting accommodation. That's fantastic. Good luck. Okay. Bye bye. You've been here 12 years for every week.
Yeah, exactly
And
the same place.
you can see this is impacting your business.